Well, hello again, all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews back at you with another edition of Stout Sunday. And morning, as always, we have Michael Kormeroff, the Stout King, up there in Brooklyn, New York.
Good morning.
We've got Robert, the Whiskey Scout, in Kansas. 3 degrees there currently. No, thank you. Good morning, Robert. And we've got the Stout Emperor himself, Louisiana Beer Reviews, Mr. Ronald J. Terrio. Good morning, Ron.
Hello. Thanks for letting me join.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and get right into it. We'll start out with Michael Kormeroff. What are you drinking this morning, Michael?
Okay, this is from Anchor Brewing in San Francisco. It's called Anchor Porter. It's 5.6%. I don't know the IBUs. It wasn't listed on the website. Give you a quick few things about it. The hops are Northern Brewer. The malts are two-row pale, caramel, black, and chocolate. And this bottle was brewed on the 5th of November, which means it's a little over 4 months old, which should be fine for a porter. So I don't think there's going to be any problem with how it's going to be. It's one of the company that makes this is one of the first craft breweries, famous for their Anchor Steam. And I've had this before, but we'll give you some ideas about how this one matches up to all your brews.
All right. A classic. So let's go down to Robert. He's got an interesting beer this morning. What are you drinking, Robert?
I'm drinking from Mr. John in the LA. A Line Creek Brewing Company, Blind Wolf. I think it's not even picking up that well. Anyway, it's a barrel-aged series. It's an imperial porter aged in maple syrup and bourbon barrels. 9% alcohol by volume, brewed and canned in Peachtree City, Georgia, from Line Creek Brewing.com. Brewed off the beaten path, whatever that means. So, and they got that wonderful little local seal. Independent craft. So, anyway, that's what I got this morning.
All right. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. It's been a while since I've had it, but I think I enjoyed it because I sent you a can. So
yeah, this was canned. It was canned 11/13 of 20. So.
Okay.
9%. That ought to be good enough.
All right. Mr. Terrio, what are you drinking this morning?
Well, I have Guinness, gingerbread, imperial gingerbread spiced stout aged in Kentucky bourbon barrels from Guinness. Open Gate Brewery. Now it's an 11.2 ounce bottle. And people say, well, that's the European way. Yeah, well, this is made in Baltimore County, Maryland. So the American way is it should be a 12 ounce bottle. So
Agreed.
I'm already feeling unhappy about that. The price wasn't discounted. A smaller bottle, I know that much. It's 100% alcohol, don't know the IBUs. It's got little snowflakes on it, which seems appropriate. On the label, it's got snowflakes. Although I think it was bottled in the time. There was no snow. It was bottled. Oh, I'll never find it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's strange because the Over the Moon is brewed in Baltimore, and they put that in a 12-ounce can. So why don't they put the other stuff in 12-ounce cans and bottles?
Because they want more of your money, and they want to give you less of their product. It's brewed. Oh, let me give you a little bit more information. It's brewed allspice, ginger, cinnamon, and nutmeg, then aged in bourbon barrels. And I think that I have a suspicion that the bourbon barrels are coming from Majestic Distilling, which I think, if I look at a Google map, might actually be on the same street as this brewery, like literally, like maybe a block apart. I'm gonna look at that.
Well, that would make sense. Yeah, get it right next door. Robert's shaking his head. He doesn't think so.
Why would he? I don't know why he would shake his head, because
It's not always a matter of expedience. That's why I'm shaking my head.
I know, but it would make sense.
Right. Hey, Ron's got a hunch.
I remember
Robert.
right. They're not a distillery. They buy barrels and then they bottle their own, which means they would have barrels available, but they don't actually.
They don't distill anymore, but they age and they blend and they bottle. So still.
Yeah, so it would depend on other contracts with other people. Maybe people want the barrels back to send to Europe. I don't know.
It's totally just a theory. I have no evidence at all, except that they're in the same location. You know, that's all. I'm just going. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand.
Well, I am drinking from Brewdog out of Ohio. This is their Nitro Choco Libre, 8.2%. It's a Mexican hot chocolate stout. It says on the side of the label, malt beverage with natural flavors. And this is a 13.6 ounce can, I guess, because of the nitro, the nitrogenization. Ugh, I'm tongue tied this morning. But yeah, that's a weird ounce configuration, 13.6. But anyway, excited to get into this. Really quick, I want to go to the chat. We've got Ronald Sutton in the chat this morning. He says the good thing about drinking good, pure beer, you have no hangover in the morning. And Jeremy says third, but Jeremy, on my end, you look like you're first, so I don't see any comments above yours. And then Hector is drinking along with us. He's having a Dragon's Milk Stout this morning. That's a good one.
Good choice.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into these beers. We're going to go back to Michael Kormaroff and his Anchor Porter. Go for it, Michael.
Before I do mine, while you were discussing where Guinness got their barrels from, it's from Bullet. If we can trust them. They could be lying. I don't know. It says it's
Where
Bullet.
did you find that?
Right on their site.
That's a good source.
They do have they used to actually have the Bullet aged one that they released. So I guess that would make sense that they would get the other barrels from them.
I will read the clip to you. For this first hand, they chose Dublin Brewed Antwerpen Stout and Bullet whiskey barrels shipped to the New Baltimore Brewery from Kentucky. Thus, the beer's catchy tagline. That's what they're claiming. I don't know. You can't trust.
No, I'm sure they don't. Sorry, Majestic, y'all lost again.
Okay. Anyway, so we're back to my Anchor Porter, and I did notice on the website that this was first introduced in 1972, which means it's getting close to its 50-year anniversary next year. So it's been around for a while. It's one of the first American porters. Could be the first American porter for all I know. I'm not sure. So now I am going to pour it. Everybody can see that it is very dark color. I'll get the rest of it on the wrist, but what we're looking at is a dark brown, almost black color. You cannot see light through it. I'll look in both directions. You cannot see any light through it. The head is a full finger beige kind of look. And let's see what kind of nose we get. Okay, we're getting dark roasted malts. We're getting some chocolate, some coffee. Actually, very nice nose for a stout. And now my favorite part. Let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, Michael.
Cheers.
Very good. Okay, the taste follows the nose. In addition, you're getting kind of a toffee, kind of caramel component as well. You're getting some roast on the initial taste. The chocolate and the coffee. The chocolate is more of a dark chocolate kind of thing, not a sweet chocolate, more of a baker's kind of chocolate taste. And the coffee is not, the coffee is like dark roast coffee. So it's a heavier coffee kind of taste too. Take another sip. Very good. It's 5.6%, so it's a little above a session. Very drinkable. Goes down pretty easy. You could drink several of these without any problem. I would like John described it, I would say this is a classic porter and can be mentioned in the same breath as your Founders Porter. Maybe a little bit, not quite as good, but quite good. Bell's makes a porter as well, which I don't like as much as this one, but it's very good, and I will keep sipping on it, and when we come back around, I'll give you a rating. Thanks,
All
John.
right. Good deal. Well, let's go on down to Robert with his Lime Creek Blind Wolf and see what he thinks about it. Go ahead, Robert.
Hold on, it's laddered a little bit when I opened it.
Oh, party foul.
Yeah. All right. Oh, shit. Still about to make a big mistake. All right, let's see how she pours here. Pours like Coca-Cola more than a beer. Can't quite fill up the whole can there. Oh, about a one finger head there. It's slightly tan. It's not very dark at all. You can't see through it, not even on the edges. That's pretty wild. I thought you'd be able to because it looked like it poured a little lighter than what I expected. What does this have in this mess? I get the bourbon barrel. I get a faint bit of the wood. I get, of course, the dark roasted malts. And I'm going to tell you, I get a faint peanutty taste in this, a smell in this, not taste. And not like peanut butter. I mean, like them old red peanut, that had the red skins on them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's just that peanuts are not my favorite thing in the world, just raw peanuts. I've never been, my wife loves them. I get the vanilla. Mostly it's just, I don't smell the maple syrup. Okay, there. Maybe it's because it's still a little cold warming up. There we go. But it's not very dominant. Not in the nose anyway. And it still dwells just faintly with that faint, weird peanutty note. Did you ever have peanuts to Coke when you was a kid?
Mm-hmm. Still do it sometimes.
That's kind of what I get, believe it or not. I haven't done it for years. All right.
I see you, Shane. I got you. I'll add you in just a second. We got Mr. Shane Fudge joining us this morning.
Overall, the nose is good, though. It's just something I wasn't quite expecting. But there's nothing it's got a good nose to it.
Cheers, Robert.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh. Lots of oak and vanilla right there. Oh, this is good. This has a lot of good barrel effect in it. and it's got enough sweetness. The bitterness is just barely, it's very balanced with the bitterness just barely showing up in the back from the roasted malts. But that dark malty notes is still there. It's still the prevalent in your palate. But it's funny with these, for me anyway, with a lot of flavored stuff like this, for some reason, the mind's always looking for the other flavors first. This still has the prevalent dark malty note in it that is pervasive throughout the palate. Now, the barrel effect on this is wonderful, but there's the maple is maybe just barely in the background. And that may be the sweetness. Predominantly what's balancing this out is from the maple syrup. I think it's maple syrup. It says maple syrup. So that's creating the balance. But honestly, the barrel effect is kind of overriding a lot of the flavor from the maple for me. And I'm still getting that weird cola note. It's good. I get it on some barrel-aged stuff for some reason. I've had it before, so it's not like this is nothing new. But I like it. I like it a lot. Let me sip on it a little bit and I can come back with the score. I got to think.
John, if I remember correctly, isn't Line Creek made in Peachtree City?
Yes. It's
it is.
City, Line Creek Brewing, brewed and canned in Peachtree City, Georgia.
That's right.
Illustration by Richard.
Yeah, that was one of the better beers that I've had from them. I figured Robert will like it because it's very barrely. So that's one of the reasons I sent it to him.
Yes.
All right, and welcome in Shane Fudge. Before we go to Mr. Terrio with his Guinness Imperial Gingerbread Spice Stout, why don't you just tell us what you're drinking this morning? I kind of saw a sneak peek from you in the basement, you lucky man, you. Go ahead.
All right, I pulled out a beer from my boxes over here. This is from Goose Island, Bourbon County brand stout. I've had for a while. It's 13.8%. It was bottled on August 20th of 2014. It's one of these old bottles.
Oh wow!
We're gonna see how these are aging. I haven't had a 14 in a while. I've got. Once again, you guys come see me. You can try this one because I've got a few more of these still. But anyway, it's been a while since I had one. I want to see how they've been aging. Hopefully they're good. It's always holding my breath time. So anyway, I'll let Ron go ahead and talk. I won't talk too much.
All right. Yeah, can't wait to hear about that one. All right, let's go to Mr. Terrio. Tell us all about your Guinness Imperial Gingerbread Spice Stout aged in bourbon barrels, 11% alcohol by volume. Woo, that's a mouthful. All right.
That Bourbon County 2014, a former beer video guy gave me a bottle in 2015 when he visited New Orleans, so it was good. Also, Anchor is owned by a company called Mitsui. It's owned by Sapporo, but Sapporo is owned by Mitsui, and Mitsui owns Toshiba. Mitsui owns Toyota. So you could buy a Toyota and buy some Anchor in the Toyota. I think Michael's got some background garble at sometimes.
I will mute mine.
Hear that rumble. All right. No smoke. Yeah, there's some smoke. Now, this was a controversial beer. I bought a 4-pack. It was not cheap. I bought it at Total Wine and More. And you might use your total paycheck going there. This is ruby more than dark brown. I got the light from outside and all around hitting. It's an overcast day, but it's ruby, not dark brown. It has a thin khaki head. Smells very spicy. I was so dreading it on Christmas Day when my daughter and I did some online, like we're doing a hangout for beer, and I couldn't smell or taste any of the beer. And that went on for a week, and that did not make me happy. All I could get was the sensation that the beers were liquid and cold. But this one smells like all the spices they're talking about: the nutmeg, allspice, the gingerbread. So if you like a gingerbread Christmas cookie or cake, this was it. Let's go with the taste. This is my last bottle. Cheers to the tasting.
Cheers.
Cheers. I know I reviewed that one.
If you don't say cheers, you get. I think that's a law.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's right. You can brew it straight to the basement if you don't cheers, everybody.
Cheers,
I heard that somewhere.
I said cheers.
I heard you. I was just
Got
remarking
a cheers in my beers.
I was remarking about the protocol. This tastes very spicy. Now I don't know how you'd feel about a spicy stout. It's probably something that a lot of people wouldn't like, so I think that's why they were hostile to it. You know, they're like, "Why did they make a spicy stout? You know, they're stinking Guinness. They shouldn't even do that," and so on and so on. And I was like, "Well, you saw it said gingerbread on the label, so you bought it, and then you complained that it was spicy." So it's like you went to see High Noon, and then you said, "This is nothing but a Western. I hate Westerns." Well, why'd you go see High Noon? You know. You know that kind of thinking. It made a lot of sense. You buy a beer that's spicy, and then you complain that it's spicy.
What did that have to do with High Noon? Never mind.
Well, it was an analogy. If you went to see High Noon and you complained that it was a Western, why did you go? I'm just too intellectual for y'all.
My fault.
Anyway, it's
I got
age.
you,
You
Ron.
can tell.
Don't worry about Robert. He can't. Robert's. It's too early for him this morning. The snow. He needs to, get the snow out of his ears.
I gotta go shovel. I hate shovel.
It's like I'm sort of like on a high plane. Anyway, back to. I can taste the Bullet. And it makes sense that Bullet would be the bourbon barrel since Guinness owns Bullet since 2000, the year 2000. So, makes sense, right? Use your own barrels. Why pay somebody else?
So you taste the lead in it?
I just taste bourbon. Unless it's rye, because they just said Kentucky whiskey barrels. Notice they did not say bourbon. It says Kentucky. Oh, bourbon barrel. Sorry. The body's kind of thin. Now, this is another point of controversy that the body was rather thin. It's not a heavy stout. Now, some people are afraid of stouts because they'll say it's thick. You can stand a spoon up in it. You know, the old talk. But it isn't thick at all. The body's rather thin. 11% alcohol. And now I'm starting to pick up the bourbon notes in the nose as it warmed. I'm not really a person that enjoys whiskey, bourbon, rum, or etc. barrel aged beers. It's not really for me. They're interesting and I like to try them. I don't necessarily like them because I rather just either drink a bourbon or drink a beer. But I'm not opposed to the concept either. You know, it doesn't bother me. I'm just saying I'm not in love with it. I'm more into the spices, I guess. Well, this tastes very nice. It's enjoyable. I can't really take issue with it, although I guess the thin body is the real fire starter. You know, that's the thing that really set people off. So that is a little confusing that it's 11%, but the body's thin. I don't know. It's a confusing product, and it's inebriating too. If you drink 2 or 3 bottles, oh my goodness! But I'm not going to. I only have 1 bottle.
I'd love to try that. I still have not seen the newer Guinness stout products around. So.
It's crazy because we got right off the bat. Total Wine I checked their website. They had this one, and they had the other, the standard barrel age, the black label. And I went right over to Total Wine. Went right to Total Wine that morning. picked up both of the 4-packs.
Yeah, I think
and
you
don't
were.
let me-
Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, I was one of the early birds on it. What you were going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say you're probably one of the first people in the country to get your hands on it at your area.
Showed up. And secondly, don't let me forget to talk to you about doing an examination of Dogfish Head 120. I realize I have one bottle left. Ooh.
Oh. Okay. So, while I hate to be the bearer of bad news, I thought you drank your last bottle with Robert, and Bumpy didn't. Bumpy sent me his last bottle, and anyway, I already drank my bottle and reviewed.
Oh, that's right. You only had one
I
bottle.
bought
Yeah.
a bottle to drink with you.
What? Are you serious?
Yes, I told you this last week. I said, let me know when you and Michael's going to do this.
Well, Michael couldn't get a bottle. Bumpy sent me his last bottle. And no, I am so okay. Well, that's my fault. That's my fault.
Okay. Now, John, I'm gonna put my hand in your face right now, and I'm gonna tell Robert. Oh, Robert, you need to call me about the 120.
Okay, y'all figure. That's my bad. I screwed the pooch on that one. Okay.
Oh well, it's just beer anyway.
Yeah.
Really, really good beer. World-class beer, actually. The best Dogfish Head beer I've ever had, by the way. Better than the Worldwide Stout, better than all that other overpriced, overhyped, overrated stuff that Dogfish Head puts out.
I know. I watched the video when you said it was overrated. I was like, oh, he's gonna get it.
All right, so we'll come back to you, Ron, with your rating on that gingerbread Imperial Stout from Guinness. We have got to go to Mr. Shane Fudge with the, wow, probably one of the best beers ever made, a 2014 Bourbon County. I cannot wait to hear about this beer.
Hopefully it's going to be not a disappointment. We're going to crack it open and we'll see what kind of hiss we got with it. Pretty good little hiss. Did y'all hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's a good sign usually. Oh, man. Ooh, bourbon's up. Oh, yeah. And rich, dark roast, dark chocolate. That's what I'm getting straight out of the bottle. I like to smell it out of the bottle and then later in the glass, too. All right, here we go. We're going to pour. All right, I can see through it as it pours. It's a rich kind of red color as it's going into the glass. We'll see how it settles. I'm going to leave a little bit in the bottom because I'm sure there's some sediment. A little swish and pour. Get all the goodies in there. I don't mind them. Do you guys?
Nope.
Man, there must be a lot. Okay, now we got. I hate leaving any of it in there, actually. I hate when sometimes I pour a beer like this and then I forget to swish and I look in there and I was like, oh my word, this is really caked. I missed a lot there. So don't be afraid of it. If you see chunks in beers like this, don't be afraid of it, folks, because that's a lot of times just the flavor. You're missing out on it. All right, let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah. Yeah. All right, cream to the. Look at the head on that thing. It's just
for a 2014, that kind of head on a 13.8. That's insane. That is. Man, that looks good.
That's a good sign too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't smell witch hazel.
Ron, go ahead and take over the show. I'm getting in the car. I'm heading out there right now, Shane. I'll see you.
Come on. I'll put some more in the fridge and we'll have a fresh one when you get here. Oh man. Rich roast. I'm smelling a lot of dark fruit, raisins and dates and plum type notes. I was getting more of a chocolate note out of the bottle. Yeah, it's just bourbon and rich roast. It's not fusel like some of the Goose Islands I've had before. It just kind of burned your nose. The bourbon was so strong in it. This is a 13.8%, so a little more tame compared to some of the 14s and 15s and close to 16s we've seen put out. My mouth is watering. That's about what I'm getting on the nose. It's still holding that head. Look at that swirl action.
Yes.
I need somebody to put some bounce chicka bounce music on while I do that in slow motion. One time I swirled and I did a slow motion video on an Imperial Stout like this, and I filmed it with my iPhone in slow motion, and I posted it. And some of the comments that I got back on that, I won't say online. I'll tell you later. But anyway, all right, I'm going in, guys. Cheers. Cheers. I'm seeing very little light through. Is down on the bottom of the glass. You can see a little bit of redness.
Yeah.
It's not completely black, but man, it's about as black and dark as it gets. I've seen darker. Here we go.
Drop the mic.
I'm about to cry. Oh my God, man. That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm just speechless.
Ice.
A little bit.
This is the point where it's literally a tear in my beer.
Man. I'm so happy I have more of these. Oh my word. That's the burn and the heat you get from bourbon counties sometimes. That 6 years, almost seven, going on 6 years, has really dissipated that heat, and you're just getting the rich and the roast and the chocolate and the bourbon. Man, that is nice. Wow. Jeremy, come on up, man. You're like an hour. You can make it here and back before the storm hits and try.
I mean, Jeremy should be there before any man.
That's look at the resin that's leaving on the glass. That's what I love about these Imperial Stouts. You can see it.
Wow.
The viscosity.
You're a slave to the macros. You're a slave to the macros.
I don't care. Do you care? I don't care.
No, I like macros.
This is yes, and that's what's crazy. This didn't necessarily start as a macro, I guess, but man, it's owned by them now, and they knock it out of the park. I don't know, man. This is phenomenal. That I just want to chug this beer.
Do it.
Don't
do it. Don't you dare do it.
I can't do that to this beer. I got to like
get a funnel. Get a funnel.
I'm gonna pour it down my nose.
Hey, I snorted rum this morning on my throwing buses. I literally snorted my nose.
Oh man, Mountain View is like a second home to me. I play at the Ozark Folk Center like all the time. I used to play there a whole lot, but yeah, I lived in Mountain View for a little while, like 30 years ago. But now I'm in Searcy. Whoever that was, I'm in Searcy, Arkansas.
So you got Rocky Bayou Mountain Man and Jeremy Vincent are en route to where you are right now, Shane.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mountain View is only an hour away, and Jeremy's only he's maybe close to 2 hours away. But no, this beer is phenomenal. The mouthfeel, it's not real super thick like syrupy. You can definitely Highway 14. Yeah. Okay. Cool. It's a chewy beer, but it's not so thick like some of the other, I've had. Maybe I don't know if that's due to the time and age, if it can thin out like that or what. But it's a great beer. The flavor in this. No, this beer, the aging really did great. It doesn't have that mustiness that some of the aged beers I've had. Like last weekend, I had one, and I didn't mind it on that Bigfoot. It was a 2014 Bigfoot, and had that cellar must to it a little bit. This doesn't at all. This does not at all. It aged quite well. It's got dust on the bottle. Yeah, I really like it, guys. I don't know. I can't say good enough things about it. It's just a rich roast. If you've had Goose Island, just imagine that and the age knocking the ABV burn down and just getting all the flavors, the complexities. You're getting even some leather notes. You're getting tobacco. You're getting dark fruits. You're getting chocolate, dark chocolates. You're getting all the bourbon. I don't know what bourbon they used back then with this one. Probably maybe Heaven Hills, what I would guess. I'm not certain. Jay, do you know?
Yeah, they used a lot of Heaven Hill barrels. I know that's who they used to be in cahoots with.
Man, raisins. Oh, this is great, guys. You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah. Hundy's alert. Hundy's alert.
Jonesboro?
John, it's only 7 hours and 20 minutes to Little Rock. Shane might be a little bit closer.
Do what now?
John is 7 hours and 20 minutes from Little Rock. He's coming from the southeast. Are you closer or?
Oh yeah. I would be about an hour closer for him. I'm an hour north.
John, you can hit the road now. You can be there for dinner with Shane.
If what we're getting here is going Shane's way, he's going to be late.
I can get to Memphis in 5.5 hours. So how you're an hour from Memphis or hour and a half?
I am let's see. Yeah, I'm directly west. Like if you just drove straight west out of Memphis to Arkansas, give yourself 2 hours, hour and 45 minutes.
You guys pick a weekend. Ron, Robert, Jay, you guys pick a weekend. We'll all drive out to see Shane, and that would be serious.
Fun,
I would do it.
I'm serious too. Come on, I've invited y'all. Huh? But I've driven.
Y'all know I drove to Michael's house. All in New York City, Brooklyn.
I will lay some beers on you. You come that far. If you travel that far, I'm not kidding with you. I'm not kidding with you. That's what I got these beers here for, is to share with folks. I wish y'all were here to share this.
Yeah.
Oh my word, y'all!
I'm serious. You guys
all
aren't that far. Now Michael's quite a ways away, but everybody else, pick a weekend. I'll head out there on a Friday. I'll take a Friday off. I'll head out there. I'll stay there. Stay in town for the weekend. Drive back on Sunday and
come on.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
All right,
do it.
Well, we could talk more about this off air. I guess the folks out there in YouTube land want to see me. I can't compete with that Bourbon County, but I'll try. So
I'm just gonna go off and cry for a moment.
18 hours for me to Little Rock.
So
that's a little bit of a trick.
17 hours for me.
7 for me, right to his
Go ahead.
door.
We're still young.
I should be able to get this one on the glass. Only 15.6. There we go. So you can see the nitro effect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looks really good. Nice creamy tan head. You got the cascading bubbles building a little bit more, but I'd say that's a perfect pour right there. Perfect pour. Creamy looking head. Chocolate. A little cinnamon. It just says natural flavors, but Mexican hot chocolate, that's what I'm picking up on. I'm picking up on some cinnamon, chocolate. The roasty, toasty, bready malt characters coming through on the nose.
They do add cinnamon.
None of the 8.2%. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It smells really good. No boozy character at all with this at 8.2. It just smells like Mexican hot chocolate, except it's not hot. All right. I'm going to go ahead and dive into this. I've been waiting, and I'm very thirsty.
Cheers, John.
Cheers.
Cheers to your drinking.
Wow. Thank you, Ron. Yeah, very nice. It's got that creamy mouthfeel. That's really the first thing that I noticed when I took that sip, because you got the creamy head there. It's got that creamy mouthfeel from the nitrogen. Chocolate, and don't like cinnamon, you would not like this beer, but I love cinnamon, and I love the combination of the chocolate and cinnamon with the creamy mouthfeel. Nice and bready in the middle. You're getting a lot of dark roasted, characteristics with this. A little bit of coffee as well, just because of how deeply roasted the malts are. There's a little bit of bitterness on the finish. It's not a bitter beer by any stretch of the imagination. There is a little bit of, I guess, more of like an acrid note just from the roast. I mean, look at that creamy, dreamy head there. This is one of the more impressive nitro beers that I've had recently. I mean, obviously, the Guinness Draft, if you've had that, that's one of the best as far as the way that it pours with the head and the cascading bubbles and all that. This one, they did a really good job with this. There's no widget in here. So a lot of times when you don't have the widget, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into. But this one was very well done. No booziness on the finish either. I mean, it drinks like a session. It drinks like a Guinness Draft. I mean, with the way that it pours, the way that it feels in your mouth, it drinks like a session, which could be dangerous at 8.2%. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's really not that complex. Cinnamon, chocolate, nice creamy mouthfeel, a little bit of bitterness on the finish with some roasty, toasty, bready, and slight coffee notes. I mean, that's just as advertised, a nice Choco Libre type drink. I'm really digging it. I'll think of a rating and come back around here in a little bit. Really quick, before we go back around, I want to go back to the chat. We got a lot of great comments in the chat today, a lot of great people watching. I really appreciate it. We all do. We wouldn't be here without you guys. Joey Edibles there at Square Table Degenerates Podcast, Rocky Bayou Mountain Man, some new people in the chat. They're kind of chatting back and forth. Let's see. Oh yeah, I did a review recently of the Unicorn Poop. That was actually sent to me by Bumpy Road Brewery up in New Hampshire. Very interesting beer. Okay, so yeah, thank you guys in the chat. We're going to go ahead and go back around and get final thoughts and ratings on all of these wonderful beers that we're drinking this morning. We're going to start out again with Michael, who's got the lowest ABV beer of the day with his Anchor Porter. What are you thinking, Michael?
Okay, so the Anchor Porter, as everybody can see, has had more than it's on its way down to the last couple of sips, but it's been very good. Bell's describes their porter as robust. I think this one is very robust as well. So I'm going to give it a 95. So it's definitely an A, and I would recommend it. It might not be a good starter for somebody because it is a little bit, the dark roasted malts are strong. You might be safer going for, a Guinness Draft, because that I think would be a little bit easier on you than this. But this is okay, and it's, they call it a porter, it's 5.6. The regular Guinness is also 5.6, and that calls itself a stout, but that's their choice, I guess. They want to call it a stout, they can. We know the old porter stout thing, but this is quite good. Should I do my show and tell now or wait till everybody gives their scores?
Give the score, and then we'll do the show and tell at the end.
Okay, so you can come back around. Is John muted? I'm not anymore.
Yeah, John's muted. I didn't understand a word he said.
Yeah, I was typing. Sorry, I muted myself. That's fine. We can come back around again if y'all just want to do it that way. Okay, so 95 out of 100.
95 out of 100.
Okay,
Highly
so yeah, Robert.
Highly recommended to craft beer drinkers.
All right, so me next. First of all, the Square Table Degenerates. If you go to, he says, if you go to Arkansas, you have to stop off at Walmart HQ. They probably have a factory store. That's way up in the northwest corner up in Rogers. That's a long ways from Shane, Jeremy, and all the rest of them. I mean, a long way.
Right.
I had an aunt that lived in Rogers. She's long gone. She died several years ago, but so I've been there several times. And it's the neatest airport in Rogers too. You'll see more expensive private jets parked at that airport than I've seen at about any little airport I've ever went to. I mean, it's got probably more Lear jets per capita for people than they do anywhere else in the United States.
That's Walmart people's. That's Walmart uppers right there.
They're not poor. Anyway, my beer, I love this stuff. Thank you, John. The barrel aging is on note with this. And even though I don't get a lot of the maple, that sweetness from the maple balances out the bitterness. It makes it we're back to that word decadent. This is more of a decadent beer, very sweet, very balanced, very almost to the side of a pastry or something along that note line. But it's awesome. I just really like it. So I'm giving it a 97. I'm giving it a 97. It's right up my alley.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I found that because it's a porter, it's not quite as thick, as viscous as some of the full-on stout. I felt that it allowed the barrel notes to kind of come through a little bit more. So that's one of the reasons I really loved it.
You're right, John, but this has more of a mouthfeel than 90% of the porters I've drank.
It drinks more like a stout, but it's
right.
just, it doesn't have that viscosity that you get sometimes, which kind of can detract from the barrel notes in certain beers.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, 97 out of 100. Mr. Ronald Terrio, Stout Emperor, what are you thinking for a rating on the Guinness gingerbread?
I feel like an emperor right now. And this beer, I think they just put it out for a limited time. I hope you can hear me all right. They put it out for a limited time, and then it just disappeared. Now, I'm looking at the date, guys, and it's chapping my chapstick because I finally found the date, guys, and it's saying these are the numbers I'm getting: 0580 space B1 space 0044. Now, this is the way I translate it. I really believe this is the 58th day of 2020, very early 2020, but I think it might have been bottle conditioned, so they put it in the bottles early in 2020 and let it set, and then they let it set in the warehouse, and then they rolled it out around, I believe it was August, or it was really the fall. They said it was a winter beer, but it was the fall. Y'all remember that, or late summer. I think B1 is the bottling line, and I think it was that 44 minutes. I believe it was at 12:44 a.m. when it was bottled. But since it's not a clearly decipherable date, you can take 10 points off or whatever I scored. Okay, so
Right.
Because I learned that by watching YouTube, that if you have a beer that doesn't have a clearly defined date, you got to automatically deduct 10 points from it. And I think that makes a lot of sense when you think about it. So, and I know y'all about to get jealous because I'm about to put some blended whiskey in this.
Oh.
Now, I don't know about you, but I got a feeling that this big, huge bottle that I paid $10.99 for, this blended whiskey with natural flavors added, oh boy. I got a feeling that it is not higher than 20% straight bourbon. It makes me think that. It's from a famous whiskey company called the Legacy Distilling Company of Louisville, Kentucky. Well, if you do your research, you'll find out that there's no distilling company in Louisville by that name. It's simply a Sazerac bottling plant. But we don't want to go into all those troublesome details at this particular time. Now, I infused it with this luxurious $10.99 at jug bottle bourbon, blended whiskey, excuse me, from our friends at Sazerac. William Goldring. Remember, I'm talking good about you. I want some free, want my swag out. Guess how much? Guess Guess how much free stuff I've gotten from Sazerac over the years? Anybody want to guess?
0.
Right. So what's going on over here? You know.
Obviously, they don't. Obviously, I can't say that.
You probably watch my videos and say, "Oh Lord, he's doing another one of our products." Why did he disappear? All right.
You said it very kindly. What I was getting ready to say.
Hey.
I'm sorry, Ron.
Well, that's all right. I like to be abused without any kind of sympathy. Ruthlessly abused, actually. But no, I have to say that Grand Legacy did not add anything positive to this product, surprisingly. But still,
Shocker.
I don't mind Grand Legacy, honestly. No, but I'm going to score this a 95. But since I figured out the date, I'm going to say it's an 85. So it's a most excellent beer. But since there's no clear date, it's only really a B. Although I did say it was an A most excellent beer. But I'm using that logic that I learned on the internet. So you can okay.
So a 95, but really only an 85 because of the unspoken rules, internet, and the dating stuff. Okay, all right. So here we go to Shane, and I have a feeling we all know what's about to happen, but we'll see. What are you thinking, Shane?
I feel a hundy coming.
Mute, Shane. Unmute, Shane. Unmute,
I'm
Shane.
muted because I'm speechless. I don't know what to say, really. Man, you want a beer that will make sweet love to your senses and your taste buds.
Necessarily.
This one, right? Well, that's what's happening over here. This is fantastic, man. This
Or if he starts playing the wedding march in the background.
on the bass violin right there behind him. No, you know, if you've ever had Goose Island, and you know what this beer is all about. Don't be afraid of aging it. That's what I'm really happy about. This beer is making me really happy, and hope for the rest of my beers I got over there that this beer has been through it. I mean, I've moved it to 4 different homes. It's been in environments that probably shouldn't have been, and it's one of the beers I've had longest that I bought in the store and have aged it myself. It just makes me happy to know that it's still really this bottle at least is great, and the other ones I tasted a week ago, they're about the same age that I bought. It makes me happy to know that they're aging well, and I'm really eager to get into some more of them. Life's too short, and I realize that more and more each day. You know that. Why not and start enjoying some of this stuff? What am I waiting on? Let's drink it, and that's why I keep telling you guys: if you don't come see me soon, I'm going to start drinking, and it won't be here when you do come see me. But I mean that sincerely. It's not just the Goose Island talking, but man, this is definitely a Hundy beer right here. It's one of the best beers. It's as close to perfect as you can. I don't know what else you could ask for. What else more do you want? If you want something different, then go drink that beer that has that ingredient in it. If you want milky lactose, go drink that beer. This beer is meant to be this way right here. And
That 11%'s getting to Ron. He's doing some
You're
weird
a
stuff.
liar. I'm celebrating because the man has 100 beer.
yes, that's what I really.
What?
That's what I really want to try to do each time I do make these videos. And I'm about that way with a lot of things in life. I try to make everything special, memorable, make memories in life. And man, I try to bring beers that I think this might be 100 beer. It's not this. I'm giving everything 100 because that's what I do. No, I can't brew any better. I can't ask for any better than this on this style. Man, they nailed it. This you look up in the dictionary for bourbon barrel aged beers. Simply that, with nothing else in it, just the bourbon barrel aged stout. Right there is your definition, ladies and gentlemen. They're the first to do it. You're not going to find anybody that does it better. You're not. You're not. I mean, you might find beers that are just as good. I do have some beers that are outstanding and waiting to be drank. But man, that's a 100 perfect beer right there. Nothing gets much better than that. Yeah, 100.
Right. All right, so there you go, folks. Hundy's in the books for today for the special Valentine's Day edition of Stout Sunday. You got to have 100, right? So thank you, Shane, for bringing that wonderful beer. So my beer, not as wonderful, still in the A range. As you can see, that nitro, it's still got that nice creamy head left behind there. So really good head retention. Got that creamy mouthfeel, nice chocolate and cinnamon notes, roasty toasty, a little bit of coffee, a little bit of bitterness, perfectly balanced. I'm going to give it a 96 out of 100. I think it's a solid A, getting up there. It's really enjoyable, but it can't live up to the Bourbon County. After hearing Shane's review, this beer probably lost a point because I had to just sit through what Shane said, and there's no way this beer can live up to that. But anyway, 96 out of 100, a solid A for me. I would definitely recommend the Brewdog Nitro, one of the better nitro beers on the market as far as the presentation, the nitrogen effect with this really comes through. You know, like left hand nitro, that one's kind of disappointing with you pour it straight down in the glass and you don't get that effect. There's a couple other nitrogen beers that I've had to where they're just kind of a disappointment with that nitrogen effect, not really translating from the bottle to the glass. I think the cans work better for nitrogen. Anyway, let's go ahead and post the ratings down on the bottom of the screen. And it is that time. We're going to have to make it quick because we're going on an hour. We're going to do a quick show and tell, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. So we start with you, Michael. I know you had something you wanted to show us.
I do.
So
Before
go ahead.
I start, Robert, what would you say is the best product that Sazerac makes?
Oh, that's a hard question.
Ooh. Do they make anything? Do they make anything that's decent?
Well, yeah. Well, Sazerac, they own, I forget who all they own. They own Buffalo Trace, don't they?
Buffalo Trace.
Right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Buffalo Trace.
Sazerac owns Buffalo Trace. Well, I can tell you right now.
Pappy.
I've never had Pappy, so I can't speak to it. But if you want a dang good Buffalo Trace, got Colonel E.H. Taylor single barrel there, that'll light your world. That's some good. That's some very good alcohol, bourbon
Stuff. That's some good stuff.
Yeah,
you can
I
use
like
the word
it.
stuff. It's acceptable.
That's a lot better than any of the Weller products.
All right. So,
Okay.
All right. You know,
All right, let me
I didn't
show you
present
what
the
I got
best
here.
Buffalo Trace product.
Go ahead, Michael. Here, let me present you real quick so you can do your show.
Okay, so I was talking to John before we started about this Pints of Love thing that I'm doing with a friend of mine's son is one of the organizers, and it involved you made an investment and you in buying beer, and they sent you some chocolates with it and a glass and
Well, it sucks.
and some other beer swag. And it was 2 days yesterday, and there's going to be more content today where both Gail is my friend, her son, who lives in North Carolina, and his friend in New York talk to different brewers in these little small segments which appear, for 45 minutes, where they ask them questions about bourbon barrel aging in one segment, and they had another one, about how the pandemic has affected their, brewing practices and whatever. So anyway, that went on. But I just, because it is Stout Sunday, I got 2 stouts out of the 12 16-ounce cans we got, and I just want to show you what they are. This is from a company called Garvey's Point in Glen Cove, Long Island, and it's a collaboration with, I wrote it down because I've never heard of this brewery, Barrage Brewing, and this is called Tusk Till Dawn. It's 8%, and it's an imperial milk stout brewed with peanut butter and cocoa nibs. That sounds interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the ABV on it?
Yeah.
8, straight 8.
8. Okay.
And this other one, which I think is probably the best beer from just looking at it in the whole assortment of all the beers, is from a company called Torch and Crown, and they're in Manhattan, fairly, right in the city. And this is a pastry stout from them. It's also a collaboration with Common Roots Brewery. It's 11% alcohol. It's a pastry stout. I'll show you the can. And it's brewed with strawberries, cocoa nibs, ginger snaps, molasses, and lactose. And from the description, the brewer was on yesterday in some of the content, and he was saying the strawberries are the lead taste. I like berries in stouts, so for me, this probably sounds like it's exactly up my alley. And at 11%, it's going to be, pack a little bit of a punch. Pastry stouts can be sweet, so that's going to, hopefully the strawberries will temper the sweetness of the cocoa nibs and the molasses. But we'll see. It has lactose in it as well. So those are the two beers I got that were stouts. As well, there were New England IPAs, double IPAs, and sours, and one Pilsner. But it was a pretty good assortment. And breweries, I guess about half of them I've heard of, and the other half are smaller breweries that I really didn't know much about. I hadn't heard about this Torch and Crown until this. They're in the city, but they're not. It's just, these are all smaller breweries for the most part. But other half, which everybody's heard me talk about, Grimm, which I think other people have heard me talk about, and KCBC, those are all local Brooklyn breweries near me. And I will obviously try some of these things, and I'll let everybody know how they are. I did not get a red IPA for tomorrow, so I will not be on Monday. The search continues. I still have tomorrow.
There's too much snow for me to drive to Wichita today to worry about that.
I'm running to the store later today. I may be able to find the Cigar City Takabago, which is a red IPA, and that would be my best hope. But we'll see. I'm not giving up yet, but I don't know. Anyway,
the winter is a bad time for red IPAs, because if you think about it, why would a company come out with one in the fall or the winter? It's just not a seasonal thing. It's not a style that
right. Yeah. So none of my local craft breweries.
I think Bumpy said he's had this for a long
really
time.
quick,
holding it so.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, Robert, do you have any show and tell?
Yeah, highlight me for a second.
All right.
I see where Ron made his mistake. Ron poured an inferior whiskey into a beer when he just should have poured the real thing into the glass. That's why Ron didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it. I said it didn't. I only paid $10.99 for the jug.
Well, time's up by 5. All right, I've said all I need to say.
All right, so let me bring you up, Ron. I know you got something you want to show us, so go for it.
All right, y'all want to have a war? Let's have a war.
Are you sure?
I don't like violence. I don't like violence. But I'm about to go wild on the internet. I'm going wild on Stout Sunday. In case you're getting jealous, I'm about to pop this open. Okay, y'all want to, where's my opener? Oh, I can't even figure out where I put it. All right, anyway.
We're back to 11.
Anyway. And spiked with blended whiskey with natural flavors. Yeah. You see this? You see this in your face? Okay.
Mhm.
You see this? You see this bottle? This is coming Wednesday night at 6:20 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Founders, KBS, Mackinac Stout. John corrected me on my spelling, even though he knew exactly what I was talking about. Mackinac Stout. Imperial Stout with Mackinac fudge, coffee, maple syrup, chocolate aged in oak bourbon barrels. And if you look at the side very carefully, and Founders was very careful to put this in an indiscreet manner. Malt beverage with artificially flavored Mackinac fudge coffee. Oh, well, artificial, you know, we're fans of artificial flavoring here. And this is coming to you live Wednesday night. If you got a bottle, bring it. If you don't have a bottle, you probably ain't going to find one. All right, 11% alcohol. Talking about 11%. I'm going crazy. All right, now, oh, where did I put my opener? I think I put it back up. Hold on just a second. Give me 8 seconds.
All right.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go on, John.
There he is.
I'm gonna let haters hate. I'm going wild on Stout Sunday. Hold on. Don't get too jealous. I'm popping it open. I'm pouring it. Oh yeah, I'm going crazy. I'm wild. Fake. You know why it's all fake? You know why this is all fake? Look at the
the non-alcoholic rattle. Wow. Okay.
It's all a show.
Yes.
It's
we have 11.2%. We have established 11.2% as your limit.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, thank you, Paulana, for sending me that. Okay, now promos. Okay, John's got to hurry up. Okay, promos. Tuesday morning at dawn. It's on at dawn. We have from 1860 Ron Rico. This is a fabulous rum. I know that because they say on the label how fabulous it is, which is strange because it's only $8.99 a bottle at some stores, but they claim it's like, you know, awesome.
Bargain.
It is. It is really good, actually. I'm just stunting. But going up against Castillo, which is Bacardi's popular price brand, let's call it, since 1914. I think it's going to be a real showdown, honestly. This is a liter. I got this liter at Discount Depot for $7.99. That's a great deal. And if you got a chance, I can show you 2 more things, but you probably don't want to see it. But
go ahead. Make it snappy.
All right. Which hand you want, left or right? Okay, and since you insist, I did go across the Mississippi River yesterday, and I got my new label. I got the new label.
Nice.
They don't call it malt liquor anymore. They call it original lager. How you like that? And we talking about tequila. Well, actually, we weren't. But see, a week and a day ago, 8 days ago, somebody let me try some Avion tequila. So I was like, oh no, the sickness is setting in. I didn't want to deal with tequila, but I couldn't help myself. I went to Discount Depot yesterday on the west bank of the Mississippi River. I froze up for a second. West bank of the Mississippi River. I got these liter bottles of tequila. Liter bottles of tequila for $8.49. Now, I don't know how world-class Tijuana Silver tequila is.
It looks world-class. Wow.
From our friend that, you know what's the most troubling part about this label is that it's bottled at Buffalo Trace in Frankfort, Kentucky. That's the most troubling part.
Yeah, because tequila can't be. Whoa! Tequila cannot be bottled and called tequila outside of Mexico. Now, if it's sent to Buffalo Trace, they can probably bottle it here as long as they keep the nom where it was distilled in the barrels it was stored in. But you're right.
Yeah, they've got that on there. Yeah, they've got it on there. They've got the that little code, that code thing.
Okay.
But this is a really weird one. Tequila. This is a jewel here. Tequila with natural flavors. Oh boy.
Oh God.
Tijuana Oro. I bet this is going to be a delight. $8. Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace.
Lots of lime, lots of salt.
These two bottles. Yeah, these two bottles, $8.29 per liter. $8.29 per liter. Well, I bet you I'm in for an adventure, huh?
Yeah. Okay.
It is.
This is tequila, not that, guys. This is tequila.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, Shane, do you have anything you want to show and tell before we go off air?
Sure, I do. I went to the liquor store last night.
All right.
Snow was coming in and everything. I better go get a couple 6-packs of something that's not barrel aged and stout. And and I saw on Untapped that Ron had this one. I didn't even know it existed until I saw it and walked by it. And he just recently did this one. So Sierra Nevada Wonderland, 7.5%. It's a nectarine ale. Jay, you just did this and gave it a pretty high score on Untapped. It's a Kolsch, is that right? And
yeah, normally, Wonderland. It's a Kolsch with nectarine. Nectarine. It's an oddball product.
Yeah, I thought I'd give it a try. Sierra Nevada's products are about $10 a 6-pack usually. Now this one I got from Lagunitas. I didn't know existed until I saw it in the store, but I already went through a 6-pack and I got another one yesterday. But this one's really good. You like 7.2% IPAs and Nelson Sauvin and Mosaic hops. Lagunitas always knocks it out of the park, I think. And so picked up another. Yeah, it's great.
Hope it shows up in Louisiana.
And I picked up an oddity. Never heard of this. Then it's a whiskey. I was going in to buy, just a cheap bottle of bourbon or whiskey of some sort. I like expensive ones, I like sipping ones, but sometimes I like to mix it with a soda too. And so the guy directed me right to this. He said, if you want a sample, if that'll help you decide whether you want one. And I sampled it and I was like, yeah, sign me up for a bottle of that. I'll pick it up. But it's an Appalachian whiskey. It's a 45% Boar Creek, and they distill it like in the stills in the same process. I didn't know if any of you guys had seen this or heard of it.
Never heard of it.
It's from Virginia.
Oh, wow. What?
Boar Creek.
Let me see.
Boar Creek.
Is that from Fredericksburg? Is that from Fredericksburg?
Let's see. Hillsville, Virginia.
I don't know that one.
I was thinking about one of those Sazerac alias brands.
This is like a small distillery, apparently. E. Wright and C. Wallace distilleries in Hillsville, Virginia. And they apparently they use the old fashioned steel, like moonshine steels. They go through that. Probably, I don't know if it's how different it is, but it looks like it's in a moonshine bottle. If you see the
with the little
is
bottle.
It barrel aged? Does it have an age? How long it was aged on it?
I think they aged it in barrel staves or whatever. Let me look on here. At Boar Creek, we used the old Appalachian process to make great tasting whiskeys right out of the steel. We rest it just long enough to absorb the color and flavor of the charred oak, and then bottle it and send it out straight away. Other distillers they have to age their whiskeys to allow the harsh flavors to soften. Our whiskey never possesses those harsh flavors in the first place. It doesn't say how long it was aged at all. So, but I think they probably just is like moonshine, and they just put barrel staves in.
There's nothing wrong with corn whiskey like that aged.
But I don't think this is a corn whiskey. I asked them that. Is that a corn moonshine? They're like, I don't know. They didn't seem to think it.
No, you probably don't.
There's no rye. No, I didn't get an earthy ryeness, but it's pretty smooth. It was. I did get he gave me a good little shot of it.
Well, I'll have to keep an eye out for it. I'm interested.
It's normally like $34 a bottle, and this is why I bought it. I bought it for $9.95.
Oh hell yeah! I'm blanking
I mean,
out.
Wow.
I would buy that. Yeah,
I might,
absolutely.
I
I'd buy
might
it.
get
I'd
another
like
one.
to pump it out.
Yeah, I'll sure. And they had little, like smaller bottles of it too, with the red label. I think it was the same thing, but they were like $6 or something,
Yeah.
$5 or $6 if you just wanted a small bottle. But anyway, I thought that was a pretty good bargain for. If I hadn't tasted it, I would be. I don't know. $10, you get what you pay for, but not bad. It looks
That's
like a
a great
Razorback.
bargain.
Yeah,
Right.
and it was an oddity. I knew Jay would probably think that's an oddity. Never heard of it. And 45%.
Well, Jay's going to wait
Wow.
till
I
I
love
love
weird stuff like that.
It's got this weird
stuff like that. Like
weird hook on it too. I don't know why they put that there.
latch it onto your belt loop.
It looks like it would pull it right out because that cork is kind of.
Oh, that's on the cork. Yeah, no. I thought maybe it's when you went coon hunting, you just hook it on your belt loop and go.
All right.
we bought
So
that craft corn whiskey from New England, Berkshire Mountain Distillery. They had that craft corn whiskey aged in cherry wood for $8.99 a bottle. I couldn't pass it up. It was really good. My friend David hates it, but I loved it. Oh well.
Okay, here it is. The aging. Right, I got it right here. Not years. Aged for 3 weeks in a little holler down in Appalachia.
In other words, they poured it all in a big bin and they dumped some oak staves in it. And that's how
This is tan colored moonshine, is what this is. And
there's the best corn whiskey you can
Nothing wrong
get.
with that.
Straight up. Best corn whiskey made.
Iron Root.
This is aged in real barrels for 43 months. 100%. Oh, this is good.
Better than mellow corn.
Oh, God. That mellow corn should be thrown in a fire. It ain't nothing
man.
but alcohol burner fluid as far as
I
I'm
actually like the was it the Heaven Hill? Yeah, mellow corn. I got to try that a few years back, and so if that's
Want to know what I think of mellow corn? Watch my review. They'll tell you everything you need to know.
I'll watch.
okay.
That's
Well,
what
while
I'm
you
for.
guys are drinking whiskey right out of the bottle, I think it is time. We've been going almost an hour and 20 minutes. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the live portion of this show. I
John,
want to thank all of
John, one
the
more thing.
viewers out there. Yeah. Okay.
John.
Go ahead.
One last thing. I found out that the IBUs on my Anchor Porter is 40.
Yeah,
40
that sounds about
IBUs.
right. It does. Yeah. Okay. All right. So thank you to my esteemed panel for joining this morning. Always have a good time when we get Shane in here, especially with his Hundy's beers. Thanks to everybody in the chat for tuning in this morning. We really appreciate it. We'll be here without you. Hope everybody has a good Valentine's Day, good Sunday. Enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, enjoy your loved ones. And we will see you here all next Sunday at 10:30. And until then, cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's empty.